Hey, what's up gamers? You got TigerChainsaw. Let me tell you about the first year that I had my PS5. I got it, I was really excited about it, and I bought about 10 games right away for it. And these games were, the mid to cheap range, and I just wanted to play some games for the PS5 because back then there wasn't a ton for it. And so I went through a couple games, beating them, going through the entire playthrough of them, and I was left really disappointed. I thought, man, I wasted a bunch of money on some games that sucked. So when am I ever gonna enjoy the PS5? Well, I picked up Scarlet Nexus and I put it in, and let me say, this was the first game I enjoyed on my PS5. But what makes Scarlet Nexus good, and is it worth playing today? We're gonna get into all of that right now. But if you are a first-time viewer, or if you just haven't yet, hit that sub button to watch plenty of game reviews on this channel, from games from the 80s all the way up to the PS5, which is what I'm doing today. So hit that sub button to help this channel grow. All right, let's exercise our brain power in this Scarlet Nexus review. As the new console generation was launching, there was a variety of starter games to be released early in the life cycle of the PS5. Scarlet Nexus is an action role-playing game developed by TOZ and published by Bandai Namco. Released in 2021, the game takes the meaning of brain power to a whole new level, offering two different playable storylines. Would this game be a brain teaser, or would it become brain dead? Let's kick off this review starting with the plot of Scarlet Nexus, but be warned, spoilers are ahead. Like untapped brain power, you're gonna love this Scarlet Nexus review. Taking place in the future, humans have discovered a unique hormone in the brain that gives people intense powers with their senses. As humans honed in on their brain power, mutants that were called the Others came from outer space and feasted on the human brains for this hormone. Regular weapons and firepower were ineffective against these mutant visitors, and the only ones who could battle them were the humans with these intense brain powers. That was a while ago, but the Others still roam Earth, often invading cities, but humans have put together a force known as the Other Suppression Force, otherwise referred to as OSF. Most of the people in the force are humans with the special brain powers, so they are on the front lines protecting cities or going on missions to kill the Others. There's also this really weird looming threat of extinction that is in the form of a belt that is creeping toward Earth, destroying everything that it comes into contact with. Now in Scarlet Nexus, you may play as two different characters, each with unique plot arcs that entwine with each other. You'll need to play the game twice to properly gain perspective on their overall arcs. I chose to play my Scarlet Nexus playthrough as Yuito, the main male character. He's cheery, helpful, and on the naive side. There's also the option to play as Kasane, who is reserved, no nonsense, and would rather attack first than ask questions. Yuito has been recruited to join the OSF and help protect humanity. Kasane has already been in the ranks for a little bit, but she's still relatively new. On one of their first missions together, Kasane's sister gets turned into one of the Others, while Yuito's best friend Nagi becomes traumatized from the event. Kasane struggles with the reality that her sister is no longer a human, while Yuito tries to help a reluctant Nagi who has undergone rehab to help forget the event, making him mentally unstable. Meanwhile, the OSF is breaking up into fractions, as each platoon is unsure of who is on what side. Nagi continues to go off the rails due to his fragile mental state and shows up to a mission killing his platoon leader. The stress of the events activates the power between Kasane and Yuito that opens up a dimensional gate called the Kunad Gate. And I'm just throwing this out there now, I am no expert at pronouncing Japanese names and words, so I'm sure I'm slaughtering this. Kasane and her squad are sucked into the hole and travel 50 years into the future, where she meets an older Yuito who explains to her that his powers are very dangerous and the more he uses them, the more the Kunad Gate sucks everything up, destroying the world. He wants Kasane to kill him in the past to prevent the destruction of the world. Back in the present day, the city that they are in is under attack by the others, where Yuito witnesses his father being murdered as Kasane stands over his father's body. Kasane then tries to kill Yuito as instructed by his future self. The battle ends in a draw as both units go their separate ways as the OSF continues to fracture under a rebellion. Yuito and his platoon take shelter at an old abandoned hospital where it is learned that the OSF conducted experiments on children and citizens that created the others. While at the hospital, Yuito learns that he was someone who was experimented on as a child because he was deemed a dud. A dud is someone who is born without powers, but because of all the experiments on them, they start to inherit brain powers just like he did. Are you sticking with me? All right, let's keep going. The two platoons set aside their differences for now and venture to a mountain for more information. It is revealed that Kasane and her sister were design children, or artificially created humans, with the goal to return their people to the moon by manipulating the Red String's ability that Kasane has to control the dimensions and the world around them. These red strings are attached to a specific people from the past, and once untangled, they can achieve their desired result of closing the Kunad Gate to prevent the world from being destroyed. Wow, this game isn't confusing at all. Now, if that all wasn't enough, let me introduce you to Karen. This guy loves a woman named Alice, and he will do anything to keep her alive, including messing with all of the red strings and keeping the Kunad Gate open just so he can try and save her. Yuito and Kasane defeat Karen, and he agrees to help them close the gate. In the end, Karen uses his copying ability one last time and go through the Kunad Gate to try and save Alice one last time. After all of that, the Kunad Gate closes, and with it, the extinction belt disappears as the world is saved. The tone for Scarlet Nexus was set right away with the fast-paced action and EDM soundtrack that pushes you as you fight. I don't know many games that implement EDM into the soundtrack, but honestly, it fits really well with Scarlet Nexus with how quick and smooth the combos are in this game. There's a small tutorial section that I highly recommend before taking on the main story of the game. It will teach you the basics of the combat and how to chain combos together or use alternate attacks. Once mastered, the combat is so satisfying in Scarlet Nexus. You know, one thing that I hate about games that were made from the year, let's say 2014 and on, is that they try and tone down or change how guys talk with each other. It's honestly very politically correct, which makes in-game conversations not really accurate. During my playthrough of Scarlet Nexus, I was actually pleasantly surprised to see the dialogue between the male characters as authentic. It was just dudes talking about chicks who they thought were cute. Being a guy, this is honestly what we do when we're alone with our guy friends. It was refreshing to see this, and it made the male characters so much more fun as they discussed topics that normal, everyday dudes talk about. Now, there were some aspects of Scarlet Nexus that just felt cheap. I hated the panel discussions, and that's how the dialogue and conversations were presented. They looked cheap as opposed to making the characters speak with each other, and it made me feel like this was almost a budget title. Some of the best conversations were from the gift-giving system. There are trinkets, items, and gifts that you can bestow upon your fellow squad while at a hub. This leads to new submissions where you partner up with a character and learn a little bit more about them. It's a nice little perk because it will increase their attitude toward you as long as they like their gift. Now, there are hints as to who likes what, and it's fairly easy to tell. It was fun to find items and then give them to the correct characters during the breaks, and it helps change the pace of the game if you don't want to continue the main story. The absolute best thing about Scarlet Nexus was the combat. All the battles are quick and fluid. You'll destroy enemies within seconds as you chain combos together. Switching between characters is easy as you can set their behaviors up to match how you want to fight. Different characters have different powers and it's fun to use them or see their styles. Besides the combat, the enemy designs were very interesting and eye-catching. There was a lot of bizarre combinations, but they all looked good and had different styles of fighting. Sometimes your best bet was just sheer physical strength, while other times you needed to use your psychokinesis. Speaking of that, psychokinesis is a big part of the game as your character can develop new powers with the brain map as you earn XP from every battle. One of the cooler aspects is chaining your powers together with your team to make super attacks. This helps out a ton with bringing down bosses, along with using the environments to hurl objects at enemies. It all goes very quickly, and when you're in the zone, you feel like a badass. Scarlet Nexus is not overly challenging. I think it leans more on the easier side as save points seem to come every 10 seconds. The final bosses and levels were challenging, but with some practice, it became easy to figure out the combat. Once you beat the game, you can replay it again as the other main character, giving you a dual sense of plot and understanding the story from the other perspective. It's a good idea, and it works well for those interested in replaying the game. One thing I found a bit annoying was how nice and pleasant the characters were to each other, especially Yuito. He was just way too nice to everyone. He gets reamed out all the time, or people are very rude to him, and he just acts like it's okay and that he's very sorry for being himself. Now, I told you I played as him during my playthrough, and I just found him to be annoying due to his nice and forgiving tendencies. Kasane, on the other hand, was fiery, vicious, and aggressive. At one point, she nearly kills Yuito just for him to brush it off. They definitely play off each other as extremes. Overall, it was just fun to explore the different environments and interact with the different objects on multiple runs within a level. The enemy placements generally stay the same, and you can see them coming, so battles are not a surprise. There are plenty of items to find and little secrets scattered about. Exploring was satisfying, and it was nice to return to the hub base and sort out my side quest, or just talk to the characters. Great combat and enemy design, along with a killer soundtrack, highlight the gameplay of Scarlet Nexus. Cheap dialogue panels, some annoying character traits, and constant saving tarnish the game, but just a little bit. It's definitely worth a playthrough. It's on the easier side, but you can raise the difficulty, I'm sure. Scarlet Nexus was my first enjoyable game with my PlayStation 5. It scratched an itch, but it didn't show off what the PS5 could do. The story kept my attention, and putting together the combos during the fast-paced combat was a blast. If you need a filler game while you wait for a new release, Scarlet Nexus is a good distraction. It won't blow the doors off your PS5, but it was a solid experience overall, especially for those who enjoy action role-playing games. Scarlet Nexus scores a 7.5 out of 10, making this a good game. Gamers and JRPG lovers, that was my Scarlet Nexus review. I would love to hear from you guys on the thoughts of the overall bizarre plot. Did you figure it out from the start, or did you have to look up a lot of it after you beat the game? But what did you think about that combat? It was so fast, so fluid, and so satisfying. I loved that, especially paired with that killer soundtrack. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below if you've beaten this game, or if you haven't played this game yet, do you want to now after watching this review? Now, while you're there, don't forget to sub to this channel and like this video. If you sub to this channel, it really helps me grow, and you get to watch all of the game reviews that I've done. Speaking of which, I just completed my game review of Reckless the Yakuza missions on the Xbox, and so if you haven't checked that one out, check it out after this. Gamers, thanks for watching, and make sure you play a video game today.